Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone is having a fantastic or a marvelous Monday. Such a beautiful day here, 70 degrees. Can't complain. Sun is shining. But I wanted to come on and share a motivational moment. And last week I was at the track and I noticed that the landscapers had covered the bushes, and I knew that they covered it preparing for the storm that came last week. And so when I walked up close, I noticed that it was just this thick material that was placed or secured over the bushes and the flower bed, and I knew it was to protect it from the storm. So I came home and I started looking up, well, why do they do that, or what type of material do they use? And they do use blankets or sheets for installation, and they it doesn't touch the bush, so it has to be secured by a frame in order to conserve all the heat, that to make sure everything is good. And so I thought about that. I thought about, are we covered? Are you covered? Am I covered? And what I mean by that is different types of storms are going to happen in your life, and if you're still living and breathing, you're going to prepare for another one. But are you covered to the point where when something tries to seep into your mind, is your mind covered? When someone tries to talk into your ear, are your ears covered? When someone tries to convince you to say something, are your words covered? Is your heart covered? Are your feet covered? Is every part of your body that will allow you to talk, see, hear, process, whatever the case may be, is it covered? And I know that God has us covered. His word says he covers us and he keeps us and he protects us and he makes sure, and we can weather any single storm, because he will never give us anything that we can bear. He will never put more on us than we can bear. But how are you covering yourself? When it's time for anxiety to hit, what are you doing? How are you protecting your mind? When that person tries to come to you and say, you know what, you can't do that, that's not right, what does that look like? How do you handle that? How are you covering yourself in that situation? So all I'm saying to you is think about how you're covered. How are you covering yourself? Who's covering you? That might be a question too. Who's covering you? Who's actually keeping you lifted, keeping you in prayer, keeping you encouraged? Because everybody doesn't. Everybody doesn't. Like, I know my family does. I know that my real friends do. But I can't let everybody cover me, because everybody doesn't have my best intentions at heart. So think about that as you're going throughout life and knowing that storms are going to hit. Who's covering you? And are you covered? Just like when you get in your car, you know your car has to be covered by insurance for protection. And that's protecting you and it's protecting the others. So just like that insurance, just like the people at the park, the landscapers who covered the bushes, think about, how are you now covering yourself? How are you keeping yourself? And what can you do differently in order to make sure that you are constantly being kept and covered? Just a simple word. I will be back soon this week. Have a great one.